Years.
All right. So we're gonna do some designs today. We have our new magazine that's out. So I was gonna go through, show you how to find it, show you a few things, essentially go over some of the editing that you can do with it, and how to change colors and so forth. So big thing with designs, they did not a very big thing, but instead of, there used to be like a little green plus down here to add new ones, and now it is just up here, create a design. You can also import items here, like PDFs and pictures, through the import button, and it'll take you directly to one of those workspaces. You can do that. So if you had like a PDF flyer that you wanted to, change around or manipulate, you could do that. But what we're gonna do here is we're gonna start with, well, first of all, also after you create a design, this is kind of like your library here. So if you gave your design a name, and this is where it's going to house even your email templates that you designed as well are going to be here. So they'll be here too, and you can just essentially search through all your designs, either with the search bar, or they'll pop up here and you can just filter through them with the little, only shows 10 at a time, but you can sort by print, all your emails, things like that. So that's pretty cool. I already started the magazine, so I'm going to go ahead and just click on that and jump right into it. If you wanted to start it from scratch, what you would do is, instead of going right into it from there, you would hit the create design button, and then it's going to be a print, because you do have the option to print these magazines out. So you'd hit print, then continue. And this one is kept in the lead generation drop down here. And at the very bottom, it says personally branded Zine, or Zine, or zine, I guess, like magazine. And then we have not only the new one, which is Making Memories, but we also have the previous two magazines. I have seen some other people or ideas passed around on social channels through some of the KW social channels, where, so each one of these magazines comes with 3 essentially different articles or quick, how do I put it? Interesting pieces about, let me just see here. So what are the 3 from this one? They are, buyer and seller frequently asked questions, and it has a little, like 2 quick pages on it. And then it has wet and wild ways you can cool off in your backyard. I've seen some people take these pages and make like a monthly newsletter out of them, and turn it into an email content. So you could take these 2 pages for like a summer email, like a July or August email. And then you could save the 6 shortcuts to summertime energy savings. You could send that in, one in July, one in August. So you could use the content in different ways. It doesn't necessarily just have to be part of the magazine, right? So you'll notice all the pages are over here on the left. And they're not quite editable yet. So we essentially have to pick the pages in this step, the ones we want to use, right? And by that, I mean, like, so they give you kind of 3 options for cover pages. The one with the lady floating, we have a garden page, they're all kind of summer themed. And then you could even change the picture too, if you wanted to. So we can go ahead and just use, so you would click the little plus button and that adds a page, right? And then I'd probably add this one. And then, this is it is centered around keeping your database informed. So I'm definitely going to add a quarter in review, and you would get these stats from, the MLS, right? When they put out their monthly stats. And then we definitely want to add in. So this, all I'm doing right now is just adding all of the pages that I would like. So like adding all that stuff in. Did I add that one already? No. There we go. And then we have a featured listing, which you could maybe you want to put in there. You had one that you sold in the past quarter that you'd want to like show your clients, let them know what you're doing. Throw that in there. And then you definitely going to throw in all the articles though. Then they have a little, and this is all pre-made content, obviously. And so then they have a little blurb you could put there about yourself. If you had some recent people leave you reviews, you can go and throw them in there. Let's see here. We'll add in the 6 shortcuts. Okay, and then what's the last page here is essentially just some, you could throw in what do you call it? Some of the office listings could be here, right? And then I like to end it with a way for them to download the app, because we're going to send this in a digital format. So always pushing the app. And then you can see over here, it says pages 12. So we've added 12 pages. There are more than 12 pages over here on the left, right? So this is a blank one. We're going to delete that. Yes. Okay. So then starting on page 1, all right. So we have a few things that we automatically need to go ahead and update here. So we need to put our KW Dulles branded here. So for that, I already have some of those images available that I've already kind of added. And if you want to add more images, over here we have essentially the templates part gives you access to more pages. Like if you wanted to add another page that you forgot to add, you can go back and add that here. That's the templates part. That's kind of the template that you're working on. The images is going to be, so it starts with my assets. We can go over that in a minute, or towards the end. I'll go back over what my assets are. But essentially these are ones that I've already preloaded on here. So I would go ahead and just add the KW Dulles image. Where did it go? Why isn't it adding it? There we go. All right, so we would just size that up a little bit. We'll delete this one. And we just click and drag stuff, as we need it. KW Dulles. I think I uploaded my other logo. I guess it didn't take. I'll just pull that in. And to resize stuff, just like most pictures, just pull in from the corner and you can resize it. And then I'm probably just going to delete that. And then you can put the logo up here in the corner. And then essentially this first page is done. Maybe you want to update the picture. You can, so to change that, and I'll just go into kind of what KW offers in terms of like their pictures. They have a big library of pictures here. Right, so clicking on workspace when you're on images, we have miscellaneous images, and that goes, you know, you have a few there. Each one of these folders is filled with tons of stuff. So maybe like lifestyle activities. And then there's a big library of stuff here. I actually used this one for the one I'm gonna send out to my database. I kind of like this one for a making memories one. I don't know, dad and the son fishing. I feel like that'd be a good one. So that's what I'm gonna put on the top of mine when I get it all done, probably this week sometime. So it's really that easy. So if you have a picture that's already there, you can just click on it. And then if you wanted to just quickly throw another one in there that's already formatted to the same size, so you don't have to resize it. When you scroll over the pictures, they have this little arrows chasing each other here. It's a replace image, so it'll automatically just size it and throw it in there, right? So it makes it very easy. All right, so then that page is done. So then over here on the right-hand side, we have all the pages that are part of, well, let me just talk about the text real fast. By clicking on the text box, we can see a few different things. We can update the font, you know, if we want to do a different type of font. We can update the size of it right over here. I would recommend using the typewriter when changing or writing in here, because the typewriter actually will give you a spell check. And I think that's pretty handy. So you don't have to like write it. If you're writing say a paragraph or something like that, it's helpful to have spell check. So you don't have to like write it somewhere else and then copy and paste it. So you can just write it right in here. Right. And then what else we got here? We have opacity is kind of like, you can make it a little kind of fainter. And then we can change the fill color, and this fill color uses, if you wanted to like find the KW red, or if you have a color that you're already familiar with, the RGB code, RBG, red, blue, green, RBG code, you can put the little code in here and it'll take you directly to that color on the color wheel. So for instance, if I wanted to search for like RBG KW red, it would probably tell me what that color is. Looks like it's this B right here. There you go. So and then essentially that takes you right to KW red. And we could change that, making memories to KW red, which is, as you can see, is very similar, if not the exact same color as that KW right up there. Right. Yeah, let's see. Then we can, the stroke is like an outside like line around the letters. I wouldn't worry about that stuff too. I wouldn't mess with it too much unless you're very good with like editing. And then we can obviously bold it or unbold it. Italicize, underline, give it, all the letters can be bigger or smaller. I mean, it's really, you know, we can align the text, give it double spacing or single spacing. So I mean, that it's really endless. There's tons of editing abilities here. But I don't want to get too much in the weeds with it. I want to kind of give you the top level stuff that you'll be able to go in here and quickly update this magazine with. So then the next page going down, I mentioned when editing text boxes, it's easier to do it with, and this is what I mean. So when you have something of something that's lengthy, it's easier to do it in the typewriter. That's what I would suggest doing. So you go in here and like quickly edit that instead of trying to, what do you call it? Let me just discard here, instead of going in here and looking at this small, little box, and I don't know, it's much easier for me in the typewriter. So that's what I would recommend. And then again, you would go in here and you would update your DBA logo. You're going to update this picture, probably not with an Asian woman, but with probably yourself, or maybe one of your team members. Maybe your team member is an Asian woman, which is just fine. So, but obviously that's not you or someone that is on your team. So updating these pictures. And again, adding the pictures is easy as making sure it's selected as images over here, adding, and then you can either have the folder open and drag the image to here, or you can just click on this button and then find that image that you'd like to upload, and you can upload it there, right? So then moving on to the next page, really you're just going through and just customizing this to your color palette that you would prefer. And so this is something you definitely want to update here. It says insert neighborhood market snapshot. So instead of that, I would put, Loudoun County market snapshot, right? And that's what I would put. And then this is, so you would put, maybe you could look up or get the information from our office. This would be, Keller Williams Dulles snapshot. What did we do? Or it could be what you did. If you've had a really great second quarter, what your second quarter looked like. Let's see here. One really important thing, which was one of the first things I showed you, which was looking up some of your designs and using the search bar in Command. You want to make sure it always just says untitled design. So you want to make sure that you give everything a title so you can easily find it later. Once you start making a lot of the designs and creating new ones, you're going to have a pretty robust library. I have about 73 in mine. So just scrolling through is probably a waste of time. I want to make sure I label these easily so I can go back and find them quickly. So Summer Magazine, I'm just going to put test so I know to delete this later. And then when I would go file, and then it has an autosave feature, but every now and then I always go in there and hit save just to be sure. You never know. So once we went through all the pages, we got them how we like them using our images, updating any text that we don't like. Make sure to go through the articles. They are pre-written, but they are pre-written from the aspect of, it says I am or we are. So sometimes people are sending this as a team. So they're saying we, or sometimes they're sending it as an individual agent. So they're saying I. So just the pronouns that they're using there, not pronouns. What are those called?
Pronoun.
Is it a pronoun? Sure. Okay. So as your trusted, and here as your advisor or advisors, it's so from whatever perspective you're sending this from, either as an individual person or a group of people or a team, just make sure and go here and update those articles. Okay. So that way it doesn't look like you just, slap something together and sent it out without any thought. Right. And then, obviously updating your contact info on some of these pages. So just going through and making sure we're capturing everything page by page. Right. And some of these are they're pretty decent articles. I mean, they did a good job of giving us some pretty good content. What else is pretty important here? You're going to want to look for, insert that URL here, make it clickable. Okay. So to do that, you're going to want to add a link. Let's move this out of the way. So you click on that little text box. And then you add the link. So that's going to have to come from your, what do you call it? Show you where to find that. The link to your app is going to be in consumer, which is the last applet. and it's going to be under site and app settings, and then under URLs. Okay, so this is your unique app URL. So I'll just copy that, bring it over here, throw it in there, and apply. So now if they were to click this area, it'll be a link, but we're not quite done there yet because I don't like that it says insert your personal URL. Hold on, let's remove that link for a second. Where did the, oh, because it's white. So we should probably do the text first. I guess you got to do the text first. So click here to download. Is that gonna be too long, you think? We download here. There we go. And then we can add the link. Apply. There we go. So then now when they click on that, it should take them to, once it's done. Okay, so we finished so let's just say the magazine was finished. You got everything all updated. We got our link to our app, which we got from our consumer site settings. We copied and pasted it, updated all the logos, updated all of our KW Dulles spots where it's supposed to be KW Dulles. And we want to share it. We can share it in a few different ways. We can download it as a PDF, right? So we can download PDF for printing. You can download it as a picture. PDF for printing is probably the best standard. I would do PNG if I'm downloading it as a picture, personally. Or we could take this link. So this link down here is actually a link to this actual magazine. So if I were to paste that into a browser, does not appeal to have style information. Well, making me look silly now. Maybe I need to save it first. It should work. I just did it yesterday. Let's design the project. Oh, there we go. That's what I want. I wanted the project. Silly me. We want to make it so anyone can view. And the reason it's like not this design, because this design is just this one page, just the app page. So you want to do the whole project. And then we can copy that. I think I did too much there. And delete everything and try again. There we go. So this is what it would look like if someone was to click on this link that you would put in an email, or if you share it to your social, they'd be able, it's essentially like a digital magazine. So they can go through and start shuffling through these pages that we added. All right, and these are all the pages that we added and saved. All right, and now, oh, I made it a link. All right, how do I do this? It's like a special spot you get to click or something. I'll have to figure that out. So, you know, nothing's without its glitches, I guess. But darn it, I did that before and it worked too. But trying to think what I did wrong there to make that link not work. But anyway, so that's how we get the link. We click on share, and then we have this link that we can put to our social channels, like I said. And what I would do is, if you were going to post this to like your Facebook, I would get the cover page of this project. So go back to pages, and then make maybe like the cover page, like the picture on your Facebook post, and then have have this link available for them to click so they can go through all the pages, is what I would do. Or we can go through, like I said, we can download it as a PDF or as a high quality image, and we can have it printed. There is an order print option. I just figured we probably have a lot of better local printing options here. Or I guess you could print it here in the office if you wanted to, and make a quick booklet to take to, say, like a listing presentation, like, hey, I have a database of, say, 500 people, and your home is going to be the new featured listing in my magazine that I send to my database. So not only are we going to be listed on the MLS and on all the Zillows and, all of our, I'm going to be referencing you to all of my agent groups and things like that. I'm also going to be marketing you specifically to, my database, and that in itself, they know a bunch of people. So it's another value add that you could bring to your like listing presentations, just another unique piece that you have that maybe another agent wouldn't have. Okay, I wanted to go through and click on this home button and talk about the brand assets, because I think that can be really important. Up here when you first get into like choosing a design, this is kind of like where we started, where we found the magazine. We have this assets tab up here. This is where you can add all of the images that you use, like so you want to add in the KW Dulles image, or maybe that's more of a logo. So, I should really like upload my logo here. My device. There we go. So probably instead of, so we can delete that one. There we go. So these are things that you're going to use on a frequent basis. So if there's a color palette that you have that you like, when Maggie was with us, these were her colors that she used. I was just using this as an example. You can quickly reference these colors when changing the colors of stuff, so you don't have to constantly be putting in those RBG colors into the color wheel. And like I said, or then going through and adding text that you might use very often. So going through and adding your email, maybe a full address, things like that. So this would be stuff that you could quickly add into your marketing pieces that are already pre-done for you, to kind of save you time, right? I don't have any videos uploaded yet, but you can kind of see how this would be, beneficial in helping you be more efficient putting your design pieces together anyway. So all we did to get here was when we went to designs, when we went to create design, anything you chose here is going to pretty much take you to the same spot besides the email editor and the video editor. It takes you to this spot where we can choose any number of all of these different different options: postcards, business cards, email signatures, whatever. But up here was the assets button, and that's where I went through, and you can go through and add your logos and different text options and all the different images that you would use on a frequent basis, like your headshots and things of that nature. And then the My Designs portion up here is where we can also see that library of designs that we've created again. So this is just kind of a history of all the different designs that I've created or started anyway. So you can go back in here and edit those. And like I said, you can also add your own PDFs and update those as well. So that would be important for, say, like the shred event when Margaret sends out, it's been Margaret the last couple of years, I think, you know, that PDF, that standard PDF that you can go back and update. So you could download that PDF into here and put in your own personal or your own, you know, branded flyer that you can use for the shred event, if the shred event is something that you take advantage of. So that's about all I have for today in terms of, you know, getting the magazine, getting it edited, and then how to share it. Did you have any questions or anything else, maybe not designs related, that I could help with?
I got a zillion, but I think I'll just play with this and see what happens.
Okay. Yeah, that's probably the number one way to learn how to do this stuff, is just to start clicking on stuff and moving it around, and you're gonna get comfortable in your own time with it. And then if you get stuck and you've been kind of hitting the same couple buttons, seeing the same results, just don't be afraid to give me a call or shoot me an email, and maybe we can sit down for 30 minutes and get you back on track.
Thank you.
All right, Benny, thanks for coming. I appreciate it. We can probably go ahead and stop the recording now, and have a great rest of your Thursday.
I will if you do.